He was smart. He was fun. He worked hard. He was very loyal, and he was for the underdog, the poor man or poor person, so to say. So he always fought for the underdog because he was one of them growing up. You know, when we were kids and we would drive down South Washington to the farm he grew up on that my family still has, we'd drive by this Blackhawk Stadium, he called it, and he would just, you know, talk wonders about it. So he was very proud of Oxford and where he came from. He was a good dad. He was a good teacher, a good administrator, and just a good person. You know, he worked hard. So, and he did a lot for people without asking for much either. You know, I just remember as kids we go to Camp Dudley a lot in the summer. So you know, we kind of grew up there, and he worked there with my mom, and we had a lot of good times up there. And as we got older, you know, it kind of translated to just being home on weekends and, you know, doing things like that. So, but yeah, he was fun. He was fun. He instilled confidence in people. You know, he was very confident, not overconfident, but you know, he just, if he said he was going to do something, he'd do it and he'd get it done. And I think people appreciated that. He could talk to the banker, or he could go to the barn and talk to the farmer. You know, it didn't matter who you were. And he did a lot for districts. He did a lot for the schools that he worked in because he was proud of them. He taught us, he had a saying, work hard, play hard, but never forget where you come from. And you know, he followed that all his life, and we're still trying to do that. You know, that's what we're trying to teach our children. The family would like to thank the Oxford community for the honor for our dad. You know, and we think he would be very proud of it, and you know, be very, very thankful for it. So we appreciate it.
All right, at this time I would like to invite Eric, William, and Zachary Stratton to introduce to you Mr. Charles Stratton.
You've already heard enough from me. One quick story is, you know, education was very important to our dad, and I think that got started early on at Oxford because he always said he only failed one class, and that was 6th grade math. And I remember asking his 6th grade math teacher if that was true, and he had the smirk on his face, and he said, "Yes, sir." And that teacher, unfortunately, he's not here today, but that teacher was Mr. Ben Nelson. So Mr. Nelson, I think, got him on the right path. But we heard it from the earlier candidate. You know, it takes a community to raise a child. And Oxford certainly did that with our dad. So thank you.
So I'm the baby of the family, and a lot of my early memories, my father had already left the Oxford district and moved on to several others. But I do remember every year going to the Clyde Cole. And we would walk in, and it was like my dad was the mayor. And it annoyed me, because he had to talk to everybody. And then as I got older, I realized that the reason he did that was because he was coming home. No matter what school he ever went to, Oxford was home. It made him who he was. It gave him the opportunities that he had to grow into the man that he became. And it's sad that he's not here with us, but I know that he would be humbled and he would be honored. And I'm sure, you know, he would have something quippy to say to Carl. But we miss him and we love him, and I know that he would be very, very grateful for this award and this honor. So thank you very much for honoring him in this way.
same problem, yeah. My father could be very well-spoken when he wanted to be, and when he wanted to be. And I think if he were here, he'd have a lot of things to say and a lot of people to thank. And I agree with my brothers on everything they just said. This was home for him. And he really understood the value of what a school can do in creating a human being. And he understood that in such a way that he dedicated his life to doing it. And he was good at it. He was very good at it. And I want to tell just a really quick story about when I substituted at his school. Zach is the baby, I'm the oldest. I remember coming to Oxford, I went to school here, but he moved to Unadilla Valley, and I didn't really know what he was like as a teacher, as an educator, until I worked in the same school district that he was in. And I got to school early, because if your dad's the boss, you get there early. And he was the superintendent, but he was in the parking lot when the buses pulled up. And he greeted every single student, and they all knew who he was. And they all loved him. And the looks on their faces when they saw him in the morning, especially the little kids, was just love and awe. And those are real moments that I will remember forever. And I think I'm listening to stories from a lot of his friends, and it's good to hear them because my father was a good time, and he worked hard. But for me, the most special moments were those moments when those kids, and there were a lot of those kids, felt like this big, important man really cared about them, because he did. So thank you to everyone here, on behalf of my family, and I know that he would be, as my brother said, humble and grateful, and so am I. So thank you.